So thinking about trick riding specifically,
Yeah.
where did it start? Is it a very new thing?
No, trick riding actually is a very old form of riding. Originally, the main form that we do is based on the Cossack trick riding. Okay, it's based on the Cossack trick riding. Now, the Cossacks, around about 1000 AD, were slaves in Moscow, and they left Moscow en masse and ended up in the Ukraine. At which point they kind of took that area as their own country almost. At this point, to be honest, though, there's a lot of evidence to say that they were just nomadic tribes as opposed to excellent horsemen. However, at some point they did come into contact with the Mongol hordes, and some of the trick riding moves are very close to the traditional Chinese horse archery type moves, where they're not just a case of doing the 3 shots of forward, side and back, but also they would actually go into positions similar to trick riding and fire arrows from there. It's a theory. It's not. There's no actual evidence, but it's a theory that somehow that information came over to the Cossacks and they got involved with the horses that way. But they didn't necessarily go with bows and arrows and archery. They did it as the tricks were used as a psychological warfare. For example, they would gallop into battle standing in the saddle. And for a ground troop, that's like, whoa, these guys are really confident about what they're about to do. To actual practical moves against ground troops, some of the tricks would be used as a defense mechanism, so they could hide behind the horse if they were being shot at with arrows or having things thrown at them or whatever, or even hide from a ground troop soldier who was trying to get them with a sword, to actually themselves being disarmed and then being able to, like with the hat pickup, rearm themselves, or potentially use the moves to basically do like spinning kicks and things like that to ground troops. It would be a last resort. You wouldn't want to do it because you'd chance of losing your leg. But if you're running out of options, that's what you got to do. So it developed from a military background, as most of our horse stuff does. It then ended up going into the circus. Pre Buffalo Bill time. Buffalo Bill also got hold of the Cossacks as well at one point. Also in America, the exact origins I'm not totally sure of. I mean, there is a belief that it came from the Indians, but personally I find that difficult because the Indians did vault, but they didn't have saddles. So, and the first time they saw the Spanish, they thought they were actual gods, half man, half horse, because they never thought about the concept of actually riding a horse. And it's more prevalent. The evidence pushes more towards the actual rodeos, and it was then, like I say, late 1800s, early 1900s, a very big sport. And some of the tricks, like I say, that they were doing then are far and beyond what a lot of people are doing in this country now. And what I've seen anywhere.